What is up, everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of All In Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Greenie, coming to you from the armpit. Not even in the armpit, actually. I'm coming to you from the Southern Comfort Studios in beautiful Florida. As always, joined by the one and only Dapper and Kidd Psycho. What's going on, guys?
Yeah. It's good to be back, man. It's good to be back.
It's been a while.
It absolutely has. I miss all the faces, man. I miss talking.
I mean, we tried to get the show rolling with the Facebook page, and it started, and then we started doing live videos on the Facebook page itself, and it's just been crazy. It's been a weird couple months with everything that's happened here in Panama City, and but we're back. We're back.
I know, man. We tried our hand at letting me have the producing reins, and that didn't go too good. I'm way better at talking about stuff than actually doing stuff on this CPU.
Right, and seeing that everybody knows me from the Greenie podcast and Everyday Schmoes podcast, Dapper came at me with the idea of wanting a podcast, and I was like, all right, let's do it. These guys joined me on Everyday Schmoes, and we're all wrestling fans, and we were trying to think of a name, so we came up with All In Wrestling Podcast, because we are all in on wrestling, whether it be WWE, sometimes Ring of Honor, New Japan,
Impact,
AEW, Shimmer, PWG, Evolve, AAA, you name it, we watch it.
If it's streamable, if it's put on the internet, we'll watch it. I even watch those free little wrestling videos they put on that Wrestling's Not Dead on YouTube channel. Yeah, they're not the greatest, but hey, it's still wrestling, man. I gotta watch it.
Always.
What are your guys' thoughts with MLW? Like, MLW is legit.
MLW is legit. I actually watched the Impact airing from 228, and they actually have that Lucha Underground and MLW, and they're having Impact wrestlers actually at that United We Stand pay-per-view they're putting on I think it's the 14th or the 17th, but that's the one where RVD and Sabu are taking on the Lucha Brothers. But they have some MLW boys actually competing at that United We Stand pay-per-view.
Right. And our our big thing is we are wrestling fans in a whole, and we know with the with the launch of AEW, this is bringing a lot of different cross promotions and stuff like that, and that's a good thing, because the WWE product at this point is stale, and we've said it in shows that we've done on the Facebook page, but let's talk about that a little bit, of how WWE just went stale, and all of a sudden AEW, after All or Nothing, just came out of nowhere and changed the whole entire game.
Yeah, it was because I was totally into WWE there for a while, and I don't know what happened. Booking happened. Booking is horrible in WWE.
You nailed the nail in the coffin there, kid. It is all booking. It's booking, and it's creating. I mean, creative. They're recycling ideas now. I mean, I love Becky Lynch. Don't get me wrong, but we've seen this already. We seen this already with Stone Cold. We get it. You're trying to have a female Stone Cold Steve Austin, but Stone Cold Steve Austin wasn't Irish. He wasn't Irish, so it's not. It fits Becky Lynch, but they're pushing it too far. And now they're trying to push this character so much that it's getting personal with her and Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, speaking of the Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch feud on Twitter, they have gone so far to really go at it to the point where it's getting noticed by WWE and they're not happy. Ronda's also talked about that she loves wrestling, but she doesn't have to do it.
Yeah, I hate that she says that, though. If you don't have to do it, then don't be here. I feel like it's people like her that are the reason WWE is kind of going stale, too. In my opinion. I mean, I get it. She's a competitor. She's in it. But like she said, she doesn't have to wrestle. She's just doing it.
They're putting too much emphasis on Ronda Rousey. They're putting all their eggs in one basket and hoping Ronda Rousey's going to get all the attention. But you see what's happening. It's backfiring on them. So now they're going to have to turn her into a heel because nobody really wants her there. And I preach this over and over again. They preach about women's evolution. They want women's wrestling to be great. Well, the only one that's doing it right now is Brandy Rhodes. She's the only one that's really pushing for the women's evolution. Because if you want to have it, Ronda Rousey ain't the one you should have been going with.
No.
You had plenty of other strong women that workhorses out there. Tessa Blanchard, Taya Valkyrie.
A prime example of what WWE booking has done is the fact that they pushed Asuka so hard and so quick. And look at her now. She's the champ. I think she's the champ on SmackDown.
Yeah, she's still the champ.
Okay, but they have her losing all the time. They made her lose her streak. It's like it's the whole Goldberg thing all over again. You don't do that. You let that person go on a winning streak for longer than a year, 2 years. And then you build up your wrestlers. You build them up. You don't just write this storyline and then all of a sudden flip-flop it. Because that's WWE booking lately is, here's a storyline, don't care about it because it's only going to last a week or two.
If even that.
We've been watching that over and over again with Revival getting screwed over with NXT call-ups. I mean, but I saw a little thing from courtesy of What Culture on YouTube that the rumor has it that Lacey Evans is going to be the one to challenge Asuka for the title after her little dementia stints where she can't make it all the way into the ring.
Yeah, what is the deal with that, man? What is her character? Like, I don't get it.
Well, what the hell was the point of having heavy machinery come down and then doing a bushwhackers fucking thing all the way up the damn ramp? You're making these big time NXT guys that were huge there complete idiots. I mean, you ruin the Ascension. Do you want to turn everybody into the Ascension? Shit, you might as well just make a stable. You might as well make a stable of all the guys that are horrible. Make another BWO.
No, more like what was Bo Dallas?
B-listers?
Not the
B-listers.
No, before the B-listers with Adam Rose.
Oh yeah.
God.
Social Outcast?
Yeah, Social Outcast. Yeah, there you go.
They're more like the once a year guys, dude.
It makes absolutely, like, I've been following wrestling since the age of 8, and, like, it makes absolutely no sense in where these storylines are champions, the whole Brock Lesnar thing, the whole push Braun Strowman for a year, but don't give him anything.
We just had the Hardys come back.
Yeah.
Like, all right, is this their last run? Are you going to stop it? I mean, what the storylines don't make any sense. You have very good storylines that you have to start off, and then you just totally flip it around 180 and give us a whole new storyline that makes absolutely no sense. Well, and you wonder why viewing's going down and Vince is pulling out the rest of his hair.
Like, from what I read, the Hardys' contract was 3 months. They did their 3 months, whatever, and or longer. I'm not sure if it was 3 months, 4 months, or whatever it was. But their contract had an option in it where WWE would say, hey, you guys got to come back as a tag team instead of doing individuals. And that would be their final run or whatnot. And that's what they're doing. They opted that final piece.
WWE is in disarray, and I think Vince honestly knows he's in disarray. And I don't know if these sudden outbursts of him coming out and changing the whole WrestleMania, because we all know, I know that the real main event, the real road to Fastlane is the real deal, dude. That's the real thing. It's not the road to WrestleMania. It's the road to Fastlane. That's the important thing.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not WrestleMania. I mean, Kevin Owens. I love Kevin Owens, but this makes absolutely no sense. 3-way, we're going to have 2 triple threats at WrestleMania?
I from everything I've read, that's probably the way they're going to go.
They're going to have a triple main event.
Yeah.
They're going to throw that women's tag title up in there somewhere, too. Watch.
And that's a meaningless title as well.
I was excited for it, but I feel like that already because they're just parading it around. Like, they're going to all these different events and, like, posing in the ring for pictures. They're not even wrestling.
Yeah, it's truly horrible what has happened to the WWE that we truly know and we fell in love with. That's why I have found other wrestling promotions to be so much. I would rather put my whole emphasis on that. And WWE, when they figure it out and Trips finally gets the run of the mill, then I'll watch it again.
What are you guys' thoughts on them bringing back Bruce Pritchard? But he's not Vince's right-hand man. He said on his podcast, Something to Wrestle With, that he's not Vince's right-hand man. They don't know what they're going to do with him. He's just riding the wave right now to basically figure out where he fits in. People like Road Dogg and a few others have moved up the chain, which shows me if Road Dogg has moved up the chain some, it shows me that Triple H's people are slowly moving into place.
Mm-hmm. That's what I feel like too.
That only makes sense because it you can see the frustration on both of Tripp's face and Steph's face. You can see times are changing, man. It's all going to change after WrestleMania.
Do you think Vince finally says, "Okay, you guys can have it for a year while I do XFL after Mania"? Because we all know how hard Vince works towards from the end of WrestleMania to the next WrestleMania. He's working, busting his tail, doing what he's got to do. Do you think after this WrestleMania, do you think we see here's my question. Do you see after WrestleMania more Triple H influence, more Triple H people, more of Triple H taking over? Or here's one idea that I thought of. What if after WrestleMania they do the invasion angle with NXT for a takeover?
I think that's the best possibility, is the invasion angle.
That's the way I feel like it's going right now. That's the way they're making it feel like.
I feel it's the only thing that can save them, because it would make
Triple H knows that.
It would make some sense. Plus, but let's not take this out of consideration. We all know that the McMahon family are their attention whores, and they have to be on the fucking camera. They have to win titles. They have to be the main storyline. It's a McMahon ran company. I don't think Vince will give up 2 trips for a year. I think he'll give them 6 months, and if it doesn't work, he'll take it back.
I can see him giving it for a year, though, to go work on the XFL, because I feel like he's pretty dedicated with the XFL right now.
Yeah, with a lot of the hirings that they've done.
Yeah. They're bringing in a bunch of big names and stuff, so he's obviously putting some money out there towards it. So,
well, he did sell a bunch of his stock and to have that, so he could have that money for the XFL. And he's a smart businessman, and he might, like, the first time XFL came around, it was a joke, basically. It was a straight joke, and he's like, okay,
It
now,
was fun to watch.
yeah, it was fun to watch. But now it's like he's like, okay, time to.
I feel like he gets it now.
Yeah.
Like, it's not wrestling; it's a whole different sport, and he gets that now. Like, it's not. He was definitely trying to make football wrestling before, and he's not. I don't think he's trying to do that. Like, he's making a legit football league.
You actually have to have players' football names on the back of the jerseys, not hate on the back of the jerseys.
I mean, that was cool and all, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like he tried to make it too much like wrestling, and that's why it failed.
I mean, if
people who like football traditionally aren't going to like wrestling.
Yeah, but you're going after guys like Colin Kaepernick. They got to be. They're being serious. Vince wants to be serious. He's not joking around with this. But he will never give up the reins to WWE. Never. Until he's dead and in a casket.
I see him put himself in the Hall of Fame.
Speaking
in his own wing.
Yeah, in his own wing.
He's gonna start his own McMahon family wing, and he's gonna be the first one in it.
No, he'll put his old man in there first, and then.
Yeah. I can see that.
Speaking of his old man, what would you think his old man would think of the WWF that he has created? Because it's WWF to me and always will be.
Well, back before Vince took it over, it was WWF, Worldwide Wrestling Federation. And Vince was like, we're just going to cut that down. Which was a smart idea, but also not in a way that they had to fight with the World Wildlife Fund. But I'm not sure, because if you look at when Vince Sr. was around, he was in the territory days.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and Vince basically went in and took the territories and bought them out, or made them out of business. You know what I mean? Like like Mid-South, Georgia South, Mid-Atlantic, Smoky Mountain, ECW. Before that happened, that was a golden era. And then Vince came in and was like, boom. And now you're seeing with Billy Corgan buying NWA and Impact and all that stuff, and now with AEW, you're seeing the business go in that direction of kind of like territories, because you have your Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, you have your Hollywood Wrestling, you have your Impact, you have Ring of Honor, you have New Japan, you have Evolve, you have AEW again. You have all these other promotions, and they're slowly building to the point where they're running their own little areas of talent, but they're also sharing talent, like back in the day.
And they're all finding the accessibility on the internet a lot easier than it was. I mean, look at the way Impact has grown so fast with just being on Twitch and Pursuit with only literally a week. I think it's only been a week. Might have been their first real episode last night. But
no, they do reruns of that, so you might have caught a rerun.
That might have been what it was. But the way that is so accessible on the internet for them to stream stuff, it is turning into territories, and I hope it does go back to the territories. I don't like the whole global conglomeration of just WWE. He ruined it. Vince ruined it and turned it into too much just business. It's not on that side of the coin anymore.
And I see a lot of, I've said this before in our discussions, and I'm going to say it now because we have the podcast. A lot of these fans nowadays don't understand that, like, AEW isn't going to just jump out there and be stupid about the way they go about things. They've seen what happened with WCW. They're traditional guys in the sense of storyline, and wrestling. Not this half-assed entertainment crap. Okay, and they all been there. They've all been there before. The Young Bucks, Kenny, Cody. Well, I'm not sure about Hangman, but in some way, some fashion, everybody's been kind of there. And it's like
Hangman's been around them though enough that I feel like he's got it. Hangman's like Randy Orton of Evolution.
Yeah.
So he just gets it.
And they all want the big thing, and a lot of people are mad because are talking crap and mad because they have 4 executive vice presidents. And here's the thing with that is each one of these guys have a different role with that company as an executive vice president. Like Cody, a lot of people don't know this, that Christopher Daniels is head of talent relations. Christopher Daniels has been around for years, and he's known so much that they trust him with, hey, you're gonna take care of the talent. You're gonna call and talk to the talent. I mean, Cody's called and talked to talent and stuff like that, but these guys are out there looking on independent shows, just showing up at nowhere and looking at talent. They're
like college scouts at high school games.
Yeah.
That's the way I feel like it is. I love it.
I watched that one episode that you sent me, Greenie, being the Elite, where they signed Bae Priestley. Yeah. And that's a huge signing for the women's division because Bae is a bad woman. She is one bad lady, and she can get it done in the ring. And I love the fact that Christopher Daniels is head. I mean, he knows what he's talking about. He knows true talent. He's been around. Another person I would like to see would bring in some flair. I would like to see Bully Ray come in somewhere.
I think he's got a contract with Ring of Honor right now.
Bring him in there and Ring of Honor too. Use him. Bully Ray and even Devon.
Devon works for WWE.
Yeah. If they can get Bully Ray out of Ring of Honor, though, they need to get Marty Scurll out of Ring of Honor.
Absolutely do.
I think Marty's deal is up in like 4 or 5 months. I think he signed it like a year. I think we'll see Flip Gordon over there too.
I would love it.
After Marty's got a match coming up against Kenny King.
Yep.
Yeah. I wish Ring of Honor would just work with them.
Yeah.
I feel like Ring of Honor is being the bitter WWE, like back in the day when it was WWE and WCW and all that. Like they're being the bitter ones.
Oh, what do you mean by bitter? Like, how do you see it?
Because they decide
they just don't want to work with anybody. They just want to do their own thing.
They've been working with Impact though.
Yeah, but not. I don't know, not that much. I don't feel like.
Not
like everybody else.
I think you worded it wrong, kid. I think the fans of ROH are bitter.
Yeah.
I think they're bitter. They're the ones with the bitter taste in their mouth because I've watched Ring of Honor and the crowd has not been the same.
Oh, not at all.
The action has been the same. Like you still got the Briscoes, you still got Jay Lethal, you still got Dalton Castle, you still got good talent. Mm-hmm. And that stupid belt that Matt Taven was carrying around finally got destroyed. But ROH is still there. It's the fans that are bitter. And it's just like you talk about, Greenie. You have to wait for things. You might lose talent, but you're going to gain talent eventually.
And they've gained a lot of talent, like Jay White or the guys from New Japan, in which New Japan and ROH is, New Japan, I'm sure, is going to... I think what New Japan and ROH are doing is they're just going to sit back and watch what promotions like the Oriental Exchange Wrestling or whatever it is, and AAA and all these other promotions are doing with AEW, and they're going to wait and see how it progresses and then say, okay, later in the future, and be like, hey, all right, let's do this.
I hope they do. I like the whole cross promotions. We need that. We need unity in pro wrestling. You don't need individuality. You need actual unity. And some of them are actually doing it, and some of them are just being bitter, like Kid said.
Yeah.
Like the whole Madison Square Garden show with GOD versus the Briscoes title for title. That's a good idea.
I cannot wait for that match. You put Briscoes in any match, you're getting a top-notch show, just the Briscoes. Huge supporter of them. They need to get broadened out even more. Like, they need to just be ROH. Let them free. Let them go other places. Let them go everywhere.
I think
we need more.
I think they do let him go out more. It's because you see him on a lot of independent bookings and stuff. So I think the main thing right now is, like we all have been saying, is the weight. And we'll see at Double or Nothing with everybody that they've signed. And then after Double or Nothing, you have a couple events. And then you'll see the TV deal. I think right now their main goal is to get the pay-per-view over, and then do the events, and then say, hey, we have the TV deal, and here's what we're doing. It's called a storyline. It's a build-up. And if you see with these videos of Being the Elite or the ones that Cody does, they're showing and they're building the story, and that's what they need, is building a story, because you got to tell the story of, hey, this is how we started with Double or Nothing, or All In. We bring out AEW, we do Double or Nothing, and then we show the world what we're really about.
There's going to be some surprises at Double or Nothing too, you think, right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're not letting anything out of the bag right now. I mean, small snippets here and there on Being the Elite and the other show that Cody does, and it's interesting how it goes. And I'll be interested to see what Billy Corgan does with NWA and what he does with those belts, and if he lets those guys come in to Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
Did NWA even have a roster? I looked it up on the internet. They only have 2 people.
Who?
NWA. They don't even have a roster. They got 2 people. Nick Aldis and some other guy.
Willie Mack?
No.
Jax is their champion.
Jax is their women's champion.
The women's champ.
That was the only 2 that were even on there.
Willie Mack is their North American champion.
Yeah.
Willie Mack just busted out one of the sickest frog splashes I've ever seen on Impact on 228. Look at that shit. Look up that frog splash he did. That shit.
Willie Mack is a fucking animal,
splash.
dude. I saw
Willie
Mack at the Gathering of the Juggalos in like 2010 or some shit like that at a JCW event, and he's crazy, dude.
And this is what is fucking so rattling to me is you got good ass sitting over there acting like there ain't no fucking talent in the world, and there's all kinds of fucking talent. Just open your eyes and give somebody a damn shot.
Because they want to control everybody.
Yeah, that's the worst part about it, is they want to control everybody.
They see that there's all this talent, but now the new... For this instance, it's a good thing, but in the world we live in now where everybody's entitled to everything and feels like they deserve everything, I feel like that's how wrestling is a lot now with the independent guys, and that's why the independent scene is a lot bigger now, because they're putting more into themselves rather than trying to get to WWE. They're finally like, all right, I see the value in me, so I'm going to promote me rather than try to get to WWE and have them make money off of me, because then I can't even be me there.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at for example, for prime example, look at Rich Swann. Rich Swann got released from WWE and is all over the independent scene. I just watched a gif of him getting run over by a freaking jet ski, and the fans picked it up and hit him with it, with the wrestler on it.
The work that Rich Swann is putting in now that he got released from WWE is phenomenal. The work he's doing with Sami Callihan and OVE, that whole thing, the Brotherhood, the family, how they've known each other the whole entire life. It is awesome storyline work. Creative is nailing that. And everybody doesn't want to take a gamble on Sami Callihan. That's so stupid. The man is a master at promos, and he's a great worker. And he can sell very well. Yes, he's violent. Who cares? Who isn't? It's wrestling.
I like Sammy a lot. I like OVE.
Another good one, for example, is Pac. Neville.
Yep.
Yes. he deserves everything that he's getting now that he's out of WWE. He deserves all this attention and all the titles he's getting, all of it. He deserves all of it. Pac really has worked his ass off.
Cody's the one who started it all, though.
That is true.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now look where he's at. So
because as soon as he left and then started showing up on Ring of Honor, and then all of a sudden he showed up in New Japan, and boom, he just blew up.
yeah,
And he was everywhere, and he just showed everybody, hey, there's money outside of WWE. And Chris,
Yeah.
and if it wasn't for Cody, I think we'd still have Chris Jericho in WWE.
I think so too. I think you're very accurate with that.
I totally agree with you because if you want to talk wrestling influencer of the year, a lot of people say Chris Jericho, but it's Cody Rhodes. It has to be Cody Rhodes, and you have to give credit to Brandy Rhodes as well.
Yeah, she's stuck by his side through it all, no matter what. And she's
without
like
Brandy,
you said,
Cody would be.
And I feel like she really is pushing the women. The women are going to be something in AEW.
Yes, it's not going to be a joke.
No,
it's not going to be a joke at all. I really hope they go on a point scale, though. I hope they change up and
that's
they
what
do.
They're saying something like that.
I
want
really
to see Havoc in there, Jessica Havoc.
Yes, Jessica Havoc, Jordan Grace,
Yeah,
Mini Papa Pump.
Mini Papa Pump. Yeah, I seen that chick for the first time, and I was just like, all right. I was like,
Yeah.
okay. I'm like, I understand. And Scott,
There's
and the funny
still-
thing about that is Scott Steiner endorses it.
yeah. They were in the Impact ring together doing it. She was,
It was
wearing
awesome.
the little mask and everything.
She looked perfect for that role,
Yeah,
dude.
you know what? They need to bring back Pete Williams and put them three together.
Petey Williams.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
don't make Scott do math.
Yeah.
Don't make Scott do math. No offense to Papa Pump, not talking shit.
Yo,
He's not really that big in real life.
so
I don't care. It's still Papa Pump. You don't fuck with Scott Steiner. Don't remember. Hey, don't forget Michigan wrestling, baby.
yeah, All American.
Yeah. OH.
So we've been blowing up Twitter. Kidd said we should get on Twitter, so we got on Twitter. Dapper's been blowing up his Twitter. I've been blowing up my Twitter. Our Twitter game is kind of crazy. We were gonna have an interview with our first guest, but it didn't work out the way it was supposed to. We decided as a whole that before we bring any guests on, we want to bust out a couple episodes and get people to understand what we're about. And but we did have a interesting person message our Facebook page, which I have to say, I'm so glad I didn't fanboy out on it, because it was I thought I was just going the whole time I typed the message and everything. I wanted to fanboy out, but I didn't. So with that being said, Dapper, tell me about your little conversation you had on Twitter.
Yeah. For anybody out there that doesn't know, that I love ECW and I wish ECW would always come back, but I know it's not. I put a post out about one of the biggest idols that were ever in my life, Sabu, the one and only Sabu. I posted a clip of him doing his leg drop off of the top rope to the outside like he normally does. And I put, God damn, I miss Sabu. He was a legend. He liked it, retweeted it, hit me, and I hit him up. And I said, hey, man, I would love to have an interview with you. And he said, name the time and the place. And I did fan out for a minute because I instantaneously said, hey, let's do it. And I was like, oh, man. And then I hit you up, Greenie. And that's where we're working on it now. But it was Sabu. It was Sabu.
Yeah, and for the okay, so here's my story of what happened on our Facebook page. I shared a post by Scott Flash Norton. For those of you that are a little bit younger and don't know who Scott Flash Norton is, Scott Flash Norton, basically Flash. I love calling him Flash, but he's a professional wrestler from back in the WCW days. A lot of people know him from his tag teams, Fire and Ice, Vicious and Delicious. But I remember him as a professional arm wrestler, New Japan Tag Team Champion, New Japan World Champion, many a times. And,
longest reign at one point.
Yeah, yep, and part of NWO Japan. And he has a book coming out in May, and I posted it to our page, and he instantly messaged us and said, "Hey, I'd love to do an interview on your podcast." Our automated message went to him, and then I messaged him back, and I said, "Hey," I said, "let us know what it takes to book you, and we'll get you on the show." I'm definitely psyched about having him come on. I definitely want to pick his brain a little bit about the days in Japan, about the days with the NWO and WCW, why he didn't go to WWE after the fact when WCW was bought. I know he did a short stint back in the day. He did, I think, one dark match or televised match on WWE TV way back in the day. But other than that, I just want to pick the man's brain. He's a legend. He still wrestles to this day. He's semi-retired. He still wrestles over in Japan, and he does independence here and there.
I would love to pick his brain as well. Scott Norton, he had a great match. My favorite wrestler of all time, Macho Man Randy Savage, in the WCW days. I remember that match to the definition. I remember how it started. I remember Scott Norton came out. He was one of the baddest dudes in WCW. He was one of the strongest. And Macho Man stepped up, and they put up one of the best matches ever in WCW. Scott Norton had a lot of classic matches on WCW. And anytime you have the ability to pick a legend's brain, it's an honor. And don't worry, I'm going to be hitting you up, Sabu, and we're going to have you on the show too. Don't worry.
Yeah, coming for you.
Yeah, coming for you. So, speaking of Sabu,
my Twitter game ain't that cool yet.
You're the Twitter. You follow Iron Sheik. That's enough.
That right there would be an honor to talk to that man right there.
Yeah. That'd be a whole episode.
That would.
I'll travel to him.
Yeah, that would be pretty rad to do because the Sheik is a character in himself. One thing we always say, go ahead, what?
Real quick, I wanted to let everybody know that the legend Harley Race does not have terminal lung cancer. That was a mistake by the one and only Ric Flair. So everybody out there know that the legend Harley Race is fine and doing okay.
Still smoking probably like a 6-pack of smokes a day.
Still one of the baddest men around.
That he is. So we always say support the indies here, and a big thing with indies lately is the Lucha Bros, and they signed with AEW. But they're also now like the MLW. No, they're not the MLW Tag Champs anymore. That's the Hart Foundation. Teddy Hart.
Team Champions.
What's that?
They are the Impact Tag Team Champions.
Impact and somewhere else. They just took the belts from somebody else too. But they're about to face Sabu and RVD before they're all in with the Young Bucks.
That is my biggest question about that match is, are we going to see the Sabu and RVD of old? I mean, they're legends and they can still move and they can still get it done. This is going to be a great match no matter what, but are we going to see it go full-blown crazy?
That would be amazing. Pentagon's one of my favorite wrestlers. So I want to see some crazy shit from him.
Well, I mean, you're going to expect it from the Lucha Brothers. Phoenix and Pentagon always get it on in every match they're in. They just had another classic match with LAX where they had their mask removed. So them boys they're not happy about it. But they're going into a match with two legends that were doing this in ways that you can't even fucking fathom. I'm calling Sabu and RVD to win this match.
What the hell is that?
Smoke detectors. It's the guys working on the air conditioning.
Nice.
Yeah, it's alright, Poom. But we're already 40 minutes in, and before this, alright, there we go. That went away. Alright, before we end this show, we always I think everything will be awesome with that match because they all put on a hell of a show. Are we gonna see the Are we gonna see Oh, all right.
Food's done.
Food's done. Yeah, pretty much. All right, we're gonna end this episode because of the smoke alarms. That's the final bell there. So we thank you guys for watching. Make sure to check us out on Twitter. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. All that good stuff. Support your indies, and next time there won't be fire alarms. Until next time, we're out of here. Peace.
Episode is lit.
Yeah, it's on fire.